Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 19 updates and spoilers. Our house guest today is Hannah Stewart. Happy birthday, Hannah. Oh my god, Hannah's so lucky because she shares a birthday with Kevin Schluber. So that is very exciting. Hannah, I hope you have an awesome day and I hope you had a great birthday party this weekend. Yay! And if you guys want to be house guests today, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so let's talk about what's been going on in the house. It's basically a war, well, like a passive-aggressive behind closed doors war between Josh and Christmas on one side and then Paul on the other side, because Josh and Christmas want Elena out. Well, I think Christmas just wants to stick it to Paul. She doesn't really care. And Paul wants Jessica out this week. So it's pretty crazy. So Josh was talking to Christmas and Alex in the money bedroom and he's like, guys, I really want Elena out and I don't know if we're going to get this chance again. I feel like we have to do it this week. So Christmas is saying she's going to support Josh as the HOH this week, and she suggests that at some point he talk to Jess and Cody, use this as a bargaining tool to get some safety for himself, make sure that he's actually getting something out of this and not just getting rid of Elena and then he's still going to be Jess and Cody's target, because that would suck. So Alex and Christmas are both saying you should wait until later in the week to really get this ball rolling, because if you start, you know, stirring all this stuff up now, everybody's going to freak out and it might backfire and you might be in trouble. So then Josh is like, all right, whatever. So he's counting the votes and he's like, all right, I'll have Christmas, Alex, Jason, Kevin, and Cody. So that's 5 votes, and I believe there are 8 people voting this week. So he wouldn't even have to break the tie. So then Josh is saying, you know, he's still making the case that Elena should go. He's saying she can easily turn the whole house against them and take them out one by one. Who's the whole house at this point? I'm not really sure what exactly he means by that, but okay. I think he means like Matt and Raven and then like, I guess Cody and Jess. I don't know. But anyway, he's saying if Elena goes, Jess and Cody will both still be here and they'll both be huge targets in front of them. So that's always a good thing, right? So then Jason and Kevin walk in. Kevin's kind of in his own world. But Josh is saying to Jason, like, man, you need to have my back no matter what. I'm not going to tell you what's going down right now, but I'm doing this for us. Please just have my back. And Jason's like, no! He was joking. But anyway, Josh leaves the room. And Alex is saying, you know what? I think it's a smarter move to get out Jess this week, but I'll do whatever Josh wants. It's his HOH. And Christmas is like, yeah, I know. I'm torn between the two, Jess or Elena. She wants to get both of them out for different reasons. So then Jason's like, you know what? Let's just play along with Josh, and then we'll vote out Jess as planned. I don't think Josh would be too happy about that. So then Alex is like, maybe we can compromise. Maybe we go ahead and get rid of Jess this week as planned and get rid of Elena next week instead of Cody, you know? And then that'll get both of them out of there and then they just have to deal with Cody. So we're like, I don't know. We'll think about it. So then Jason goes up to the HOH room to talk to Josh, and Josh is going through his whole Elena's gotta go spiel. And he's saying Elena has Mark, Matt, Raven, Cody, and Jess. And Jason's like, we're getting Jess out this week. You don't have to worry about that. Wait. Okay, I needed the fan on. So then, Josh is talking about how disloyal Elena is, and Jason's like, dude, you're just getting paranoid. Like, Elena can't do anything. She doesn't have numbers right now. So Josh is like, yeah, but she could slip under the radar and get those numbers again, and then we're going to be in trouble. She's really good at persuading people, which is true. So Jason's saying, all right, I understand what you're saying. You don't have to keep pitching this to me. I get it. Elena's got to go. But Jess has to go first because Cody is going to be so much weaker without her. So then Jason's saying, like, if you're finding later in the week that you do want to make this switch still, just, like, wait even more. And then we can flip it. He's saying, don't stir shit up because it stinks. And he's saying you're going to freak people out. He kept saying that. So then Josh keeps going on and on about how Elena has to go. And eventually, I think Jason was just sick of it because, like, he kept trying to leave. And he was, like, telling Josh, like, okay, I get it. All right, fine. And Josh kept going. But Jason was like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I think they're equal targets. You sold me on it. Whatever you want. I don't think he actually means that. So then Christmas joins them in the HOH room. And she's telling Josh, I think you should chill out a bit on the Elena thing. Because, again, you're freaking people out. Don't get the house all riled up. It's too early. So then, I feel like this is Helen, Big Brother 15 all over again. It's too early, we can't. So then Jason's like, you know what? Just let's come up with some sort of like code word, and if you want to get rid of Elena on Thursday, just say like popcorn or whatever, and we'll go ahead and do that. And on that note, Jason left the room. So then Christmas and Josh were alone, and they were discussing how close Paul really is with Elena. They're realizing it more and more this week. He's really trying to protect her, and that's really freaking them out. So Christmas is like, you know what? I'm going to tell you something right now, but you can't tell anybody else this. I feel that I can be the conduit between you and Jess and Cody. Why does she think this? Because Christmas just screwed over Jess and Cody by using her ring of replacement to keep Cody from playing in the Power Veto competition. I don't think they want to talk to her right now. I don't think they want to work with her right now. But she's like, yeah, I'll just say, like, I felt like I had to use the ring because people knew about it, and it would have been weird if I didn't. I don't know if that reason's gonna fly with them, but you know that Christmas is like inserting herself into this situation because she wants to get safety guaranteed from Jess and Cody, and this is her in to get that safety by being like the middle person. So she's like, yeah, we gotta get something out of them if we're gonna keep Jess this week. So then she was also saying, you can't tell anyone this again. Excuse me. But I have, guys, I don't just burp all the time. I have acid reflux. But she's saying she also has Kevin's ear. And Josh is like, yeah, but isn't Kevin really close to Paul? And she's like, not as close as he is to me. Woo, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But she seems pretty confident that she will have Kevin's vote this week to do whatever they want to do. Alright, so then they're, you know, still talking about how Paul is really playing the middle right now and he's going to have to pick a side soon. And Christmas is like, this isn't Paul's house. And she feels like he's probably going to side with Elena in the end. They just hang out all the time, and it seems like not only do they enjoy each other's company, but she just thinks that they're going to have a better game relationship. So she's saying that Paul is blind to Elena at this point. He doesn't see what a threat Elena is. So Josh also brings up that he does not like how Elena was walking around in her undies and her see-through shirt without a bra on the other day. He said all the guys were like, and he sees what she's doing, you know? He knows that that was part of her gameplay there. So they both sound like they're ready to shake things up, but they're saying we can't tell Paul about this yet. Just keep stroking his ego. Don't let him know how close we are, and we'll tell him right before it happens. Alright, meanwhile, Jason and Alex were talking downstairs, and Jason was telling her about the conversation he had with Josh, that he doesn't like that Josh is stirring shit right now. And Alex is like, yeah, well, forget Josh. We need to freaking stick with Paul because he is going to take us the furthest in this game. Oh, Alex is so obsessed with Paul. It's so annoying. So she's saying like, oh my gosh, Josh is obviously starting to not trust Paul. And you know that that's going to put a huge target on his back. So Jason is saying, whatever. We don't have to vote the way that Josh wants. We'll just stick with Paul and it'll be fine. So while they were talking, Kevin comes into the room and you see him in the corner on his bed, like trying to write his daughter's phone number with nail polish on this piece of like cardboard or paper or something. And he's just like, because he was planning on giving it to Jessica because his daughter lives in LA and he wanted them to like connect or whatever. And Big Brother was like, Kevin, stop that. But it was just like really funny and it felt like some sort of jail scene in a movie. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought it's funny. Back to Jason and Alex. Jason says that he thinks that Josh is just trying to stir some stuff up right now to get more camera time. I think he actually wants Elena to go. I think he's very serious about that. Alright, so then Matt and Raven were having a game chat in the Apple Lounge, and they were talking about the end game a little bit. They want to go to the Final 5 with Paul, Christmas, and Josh. And Matt says if they can make that happen, then one of the two of them are going to win out of that group. What? I don't see either of them winning, even if they were in the final 2 together. I think they would just be like, you know what? We're not gonna have a winner this season. We're just gonna pass. We'll just distribute it to America. I don't know. I just don't see their logic there. But anyway, they feel like, before they were saying they really wanted Mark to not use the veto, but now they're like, you know what, if he uses the veto, that can be good for us, because if we win HOH, we can use that as an excuse to put Mark up on the block, because it's showing that he didn't trust us enough to keep him safe. And they know that one of them are going to be the replacement nominee, so they're like, well, because Mark used it, we ended up on the block, so we're putting him up on the block. So they're discussing which one of them is going to go up in his place, because Josh left it up to them to decide. So Matt is saying, you know what, Raven, you should go up this week because you're going to be totally safe. He says that he's going to volunteer to be a pawn in like a more dangerous situation when somebody has to go up from the start, because he wants that opportunity also to play in the power of veto. So he's like, you know what, you're going to be fine. Why don't you just get it out of the way now? It's all good. Okay, so then Elena and Jess had a little game chat on the lounger outside, and you know, oh no, I closed my book. Hold on. Okay, and you know that everybody noticed this, and they were just like, oh, Elena and Jess are talking. So even when Jess sat down, she was just like, is it okay if I sit here, or do you want me to go away? And Elena was like, no, what? You can sit down. But on the inside, she was probably like, no, get out of here. So then Elena tells Jess, I'm really going to miss you. I guess she's saying when you're evicted. But then she says, like, watch them pull some weird, crazy shit and vote me out this week. That's Josh's plan, but we'll see. So then they're talking about the finale, and they're just like, I can't believe that somebody here is going to win $500,000. And Jess is saying if they were voting tomorrow, she'd vote for Paul, because he's playing a really great game, and as somebody watching the show, she'd really enjoy it. But obviously, playing this game, she freaking hates it. So she's saying, yeah, he's winning competitions, he's got a great social game, and you gotta admit, like, you can't fault him for that. He's playing a really great game, and these people are just following him around. So I agree with that. Like, he's a puppet master right now. So Jess is saying, on the other hand, I would never vote for Raven because she doesn't do anything game-wise. So then she says either Matt or Raven is going to be the replacement nominee, and Jess says that it seems like they're leaning more towards Matt, which isn't really true. But Elena's like, what? How do you know that? And Jess says, people tell me things, more than one person. But she's not going to say who those people are out of respect for them. She'll tell Elena after the game's over. I don't know if she's just totally bluffing here or what, because I haven't seen a lot of people giving Jess information. Maybe I'm just missing it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I haven't seen it much. But anyway, Jess is telling Elena, I have some other stuff that I want to tell you before you leave, or sorry, before I leave, but you gotta promise me you're not gonna react emotionally. I just want you to be aware of certain things and look out for them, but don't freak out. She's worried that she's gonna tell her some stuff and Elena's gonna blow up her own game. So she lets Elena know, yeah, you know, Christmas, she doesn't like you very much. She says that she's heard from multiple people that Christmas has been dropping her name, and it's true. Christmas has kind of been campaigning for Elena to go this week because that's what Josh wants. But again, I don't know who is telling Jess about this, or if Jess is just trying to set people up. So then Elena's like, oh wow, I'm going to have to watch out for that. Thank you for telling me. So she tells Jess, secretly, I hope Cody wins the next HOH so that he can take out some people. I mean, I get what she's saying, but you can only take out one person at a time. Whatever. I get what she's saying. So Jess is like, yeah, I think you should probably stick by Paul because he's probably going to be able to take you the furthest in this game. And Jess also lets Elena know, I think you're going to be okay for a while because I think Matt and Raven are the targets in front of you. That's what I've heard. No. So that's where I'm like, you know, I think she's bluffing about getting this info from people because that doesn't make sense. Or if she is getting info, people are just telling her crap that's not true. So then Elena's like, I've got to tell you this. If I win the next HOH, I'm going to have to put Cody up on the block to save face with everyone. And Jess is like, I get that. Just please don't backdoor him. Give him a chance to win that power veto. And Elena's like, yes. So then eventually Christmas broke up their conversation. And when she came over, Jess was just like, bye. Out of here. All right. So then Paul, Mark, and Elena were in the Apple Lounge a little while later. God. And Elena was asking Paul, do you think that Mark should use his veto this week? Who cares? It's not up to Paul, okay? Paul does not have the veto. Mark does. So let it go. So Paul's like, honestly, it's hard for me to advise you against it, Mark, because you fought hard for it and you won. But, you know, if you use it, somebody else is going to have to go up. That's how it works, okay? You go up as a pawn, you win the veto, you use it on yourself, and another pawn goes up. That's how it's pretty much always worked. What is the freaking big deal here? So then Paul is telling him this would be a great opportunity for you to gain everyone's trust. He says that everybody's voting out Jess this week except for Cody, so he'd have nothing to worry about. But again, I'm not going to tell you not to use it on yourself. Damn right. Okay, so Elena says that she's a little bit nervous that the votes could like flip this week and she could go home, and Paul's just like, what the F, Elena? Why would you even think that? But I mean, that is going on, and Paul does know that there's been people talking about it. So Paul says there's no way anyone wants Jess in this house. Okay, so Paul and Mark were then alone, and Paul says, you need to make sure Elena calms down because she's going to blow up her own freaking game. She's going to pull a Dominique and just talk her way out of here. So Mark's like, I've tried, and I will continue to try, but she just doesn't listen to me. And that's true. Okay, so he's telling Paul, like, she'll take that advice more from you because she respects you and respects your game talk, whatever. So then they were talking about possible relationship outside of the house, and Paul was like, you need to freaking delay all that relationship until after the show, okay? Because you don't want that affecting your game. Alright, so then later, Josh was talking to Kevin, who was showering in the HOH room at the time. And of course, Josh was like, Kevy, I love you, you're the best. You're gonna get out of here and see that I really care about you, blah, blah, blah. So Kevin is telling Josh, don't be afraid of Cody next week. You know, I've been talking to him, and he's not going to put you up if he wins. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but Kevin has been putting in work to make sure that his group is going to be okay with Cody if he wins the HOH. So then Josh is asking Kevin, who do you think should go this week? Elena or Jess? And Kevin is saying to get rid of Jess. And I think that's just because he wants to pull in Cody next week. And he knows if Jess is gone, Cody's going to be all alone, and it's going to be easier to pull him in. So then he's like, yeah, we get rid of Jess this week, and then next week put up Matt and Raven, get rid of Matt, and then he feels like it's going to be smooth sailing. Get Cody to take out a bunch of people for them, and then they cut Cody at like final 6 or 7 or whatever, and he feels good about that. Alright, in other news, Cody made 2 meatloafs, or meatloaves? Is it meatloaves? Last night, and on one, he spelled out Cody in ketchup, and on the other, he spelled out Jess. Aw, nothing says I love you like 2 hunks of meat. Okay, so then, Josh and Christmas had a big game chat in the HOH room last night. So all week, we've seen Josh saying that he wants Elena to go, and Christmas has been supporting him, at least one-on-one. So Josh is saying, again, like, he thinks that, oh, I was like, who's Jody? That Jess and Cody will be cool with him if he saves Jess this week. He still wants Elena out, and Christmas seems down to clown. She's like, yeah, let's have some fun. We made jury. Let's flip some shit. Let's cause some chaos. This is Big Brother. Let's do it. So there's more discussion about Paul playing both sides and how he's, like, super protective of Elena right now. It's the same stuff they've been talking about. And then Josh is like, whoa, what if Paul is keeping Elena around to go after us so that he doesn't have to? Ding, 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 ding. And Christmas is saying, again, this is going to have to be a last minute flip. We can't tell Paul about it because he's going to tell Elena and then it's going to be chaotic. But they think that Paul may already be cluing Elena in because they've noticed a change in her behavior and they're not happy about this leak in the group. So Christmas is like, it's very likely that Paul is working with every single person in this house. But I don't give a shit as long as he has my back. Ah! I feel like I remember her saying this like weeks ago and she still feels the same way. Why is it okay for him to play everybody? Just get rid of him. Alright, so they're all like gung-ho about getting rid of Elena this week, but then out of nowhere, Christmas does a 180. She's like, alright, I'm going to play devil's advocate right now. I don't know if she was actually doing that or if she was like trying to convince Josh that Jess should go, but she's like, okay, we need to really think about the repercussions if we get rid of Elena this week. We could possibly lose Paul and Mark for the rest of this game. They're not going to want to work with us if we get rid of Elena and pull this over them. So she's saying we still need numbers. And don't forget that Jess and Cody personally disgraced you in this game. So you would be keeping them in the house and allowing them to stay in jury together. So now they start agreeing that Jess should go this week. What the actual F? I don't know if Christmas's medicine just kicked in or something or what, but it was just like 100% they wanted Elena to go, and then 100% they wanted Jess to go. It was really freaking bizarre. It was wild. Okay, so it was also really annoying. Okay, so then during that conversation, Paul, Alex, and Jason were in the storage room, and Alex is like, guess what? Josh is trying to round up the votes right now to get rid of Elena. And Paul is just like, that would be so dumb. Jessica needs to go. But he's not freaking out too much because he doesn't think that Josh is going to be able to get the votes. He thinks that everybody's solid. He says there's no way that Jess is going to stay this week. Alright, so then the rest of the night was pretty fun. Paul and Elena were doing each other's makeup. It was super scary. I thought Elena was going to do a good job on Paul, but then they were like doing this game where she was sitting behind him and she was using her arms, but like she couldn't see what she was doing. It was messy. Okay, and then at midnight, the house guests were all celebrating Kevin's birthday. Yay! Paul made some muffins. They were saving the cake mix for today. Woo! Alright, so happy birthday to Kevin. And then today, birthday boy Kevin was walking the yard with Jason and a new guest, Cody. Ugh. So Kevin and Cody were doing all the talking here. It's more of what we've heard them talking about the last few days. Kevin being like, you gotta watch out for those people you thought were with you before because they're the ones stabbing you in the back. And Cody's like, I know. If I win HOH, I'm going after those people. Everybody who betrayed him after he tried to protect them, aka the couples. So Kevin is like, you know what? We should make a deal here. So they shake hands and agree that they're not going to go after each other. And I believe Kevin was trying to include his whole crew in on this. So like Kevin, Jason, Alex, Paul, and I'm not sure if Christmas was in on this or what. I feel like not so much. But yeah, he shook on it, and Jason looked very nervous while this was all happening. And we know that Jason is a very loud person, so I think it says a lot about how, you know, he was so quiet during this whole thing. He didn't like it. Okay, so then it was time for the power veto ceremony. Mark saved himself. Josh put up Raven in his place as planned. So it's Raven versus Elena versus Jess up on the block. And then this afternoon there was some weird shit going on. All of a sudden there was a baby crying over the loudspeaker. It was like, wah, wah. And this voice says, will someone shut that baby up? So everyone was confused. They were like, did production hit a wrong button? Is this for an upcoming competition? What's going on here? There was also a lot of misinformation being spread around. Raven was telling people that the voice said, I have a headache. Can somebody shut that baby up? But there was no mention of a headache. So I don't know if she actually thought she heard that or if she's just trying to throw people off. I think a lot of people are getting annoyed because they're thinking she's trying to throw them off. But anyway, Jess pulled Elena aside and said that she and Cody were having sex when Big Brother played this freaking baby crying noise. So she was like, oh my god, is BB trolling us or what? But no, I think it's part of a competition because like 20 minutes later there was a recording of a dog barking. So it's wild, man. It's wild. Alright, so then one last thing. Jason, Alex, and Paul were in the money bedroom, and Alex is a little tattletale. Alex is like freaking Cindy Brady. She was like, Christmas and Josh are getting really nervous that you've been hanging out with Elena so much. And Paul's just like, what the hell? I know what I'm doing. I love how it's okay for him to talk to certain people, but when other people do that, he gets really pissed. So he's like, I'm just doing damage control. It's fine. So Alex is like, yeah, but Christmas thinks that you're trying to save Elena. And Paul says, Christmas is an idiot. So then, Paul says he is not trying to save Elena. He just wants Jess out this week. So then, Jason tells on Kevin. He's Cindy Brady 2.0. So he's like, yeah, this morning Kevin shook hands with Cody to keep us all safe, and he agreed that we were going to keep him safe. And Paul's like, psh, the three of us didn't shake on it. So, He says they're taking out Jess this week, and then they're going to backdoor Cody next week. We'll see about that. All right, so there's 3 days until the eviction. Woo! Who knows how many times. Guys, leave it in the comments how many more times you think Josh and Christmas are going to flip back and forth on trying to keep Jess this week. Let me know in the comments. And until tomorrow, much love.